Hello everybody, my name is Chad from Acoustic Sounds. We also own Analogue Productions, our in-house reissue label. We do everything here in Salina, Kansas except make the album jacket. So here's one of the latest releases we just did. Tony Joe White, Black and White. He's from North Louisiana. He just recently passed away. He's one of my favorite artists. If you like the singer-songwriter type Americana, like really bluesy and gritty musicians. On this album he does Polk Salad Annie. He's also the one that wrote Rainy Night in Georgia, and he's been covered by a lot of people. Steamy Windows and Undercover Agents of the Blues, that was done by Tina Turner. He's one of the better songwriters, and I love his versions of everything. He's just really, really good. This is his first album with Polk Salad Annie. We made a gatefold out of it. It was never a gatefold before. And he also loved Lightning Hopkins and Bobby Gentry. And so when you know where he's from and what he was listening to, you can understand like how he got to his own thing, which he called like swamp rock. He was really into swamp. We had a perform in Salina at our blues concert, and he really laid back, great guy. And when we were talking to Shelby Lynn about doing a record, she called him and he said that he would be happy to be on the record. And the record didn't happen. We still hope that one day it may happen. But he passed away right before. Anyway, I love Tony Joe. Now we called the original producer Billy Schwann, and we did an interview with him. Mark Shafarjan did the interview. Billy Schwann produced this record. He also worked with Chris Christopherson. He also had a hit called I Can Help, which was a huge hit. So we interviewed him. He talks about his history, how he met Tony Joe, about the record, how he worked with Chris Christopherson, and it's a nice interview that we put it in there just to add something to it. And we've done this about a year ago on 45 RPM. This first album he did was in '69. This isn't his second album, but this album is from 1973 on Warner Brothers. It was originally gatefold, but we put it on tip-on jacket. This is one of my all-time favorite albums. The sound quality will knock your socks off. Every song on there is really, really good, but on the side two, Backwoods Preacher Man is just unbelievable. I love it. And Somebody Made a Fool Out of You. A lot of people covered the Somebody Made a Fool Out of You. Taking the Midnight Train, Saturday Night in Oak Grove, Louisiana. I highly recommend this album, especially if you like singer-songwriter, bluesy, folky, real. Love this album. And anybody that I play this record for, I mean, they go for their wallet right away. Highly recommended. Of course, again, Stoughton Printing, mastered by Kevin Gray. Same with this other Tony Joe, Kevin Gray did. Pressed at Quality Record Pressings on Analogue Productions. We'll talk about the Verve series, the Acoustic Sounds Verve series from Universal. This is like a 1954, 1955 Peggy Lee mono. Unbelievable sound. Great songs. I mean, they have Black Coffee, I've Got You Under My Skin. Great standards. She was on top of her game. We made a gatefold out of it. And Stoughton jacket, mastered by Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound. Played and pressed at Quality Record Pressings. This series is selling like crazy. Everybody's so excited and so happy with the results, from the consumer to the label to us. It's been a unbelievable success, and there's a lot more great stuff to come. This one was more of under the radar. You know, George Russell is, not as quite as famous as John Coltrane or Peggy Lee, but Coltrane's on this record on the track. Bill Evans is on this record. It's full of top line jazz musicians. And it's different. It's got a little narration. It talks about New York. John Hendricks does the narration. And we made a gatefold out of it. And this is kind of what we call under the radar. We're trying to we needed another Decca to go along with the series. And we thought that we'd give you like a little under the radar, something that maybe isn't that common, maybe introduce you to something a little bit different that we thought was great. So we're not just going to do standard famous records that everybody want, although we're going to do a lot of those. So here's Clifford Brown and Max Roach. It was an Emerson. Well, you hear that's like opening a bottle of wine if you drink. This is me opening a bottle of wine. Yes, love that sound. Like to be the first one to do that too. Anyway, this is we made a gatefold out of it. Great album, another mono in the Acoustic Sound series. We did this record for Renee, the Nagra dealer in Canada. We mastered it. Our mastering facility, we bought Doug Sack's mastering facility, which is tube, all custom made for Doug. Matt Luthen's our mastering engineer who learned from Kevin Gray. Cut this. We cut it in Salina, played it in Salina, pressed it in Salina. And Renee also sells reel-to-reel tapes, and we sell his stuff as a real audiophile. And we did volume 1, Matt cut that, and volume 2, and they sell out fast. Great sounding record. Then we did 2 Wilsons on 45. We made gatefolds out of them on Analogue Productions, to honor the great Dave Wilson that makes the speakers. Here's some pictures when he was young and just starting to record. And here's people like Neil Muncy, who designed our studio and worked. We met him through Dave Wilson. Bruce Leak, a great mastering engineer. And we made it on tip-on, double album, 45. Same with this one is Winds in War and Peace and Center Stage. Stoughton Printing, Kevin Gray Mastering, Quality Record Pressing, Quality Record Plating. I remember when in 1993, me and Don McInnes from RTI, the owner of RTI, went to Provo, Utah to meet Dave to buy a lathe. And he met us there, and we bought a lathe and other equipment from him, and he brought us to his house to play a few records on his Whams. Now this is in 1993. These were probably the most expensive speakers on the planet at that time. Nobody had $100,000 speakers in '93, except Dave. He's the one that started the whole awesome high-end speaker. And he brought us in his living room, and Don McInnes sat in the Cat Daddy sweet spot chair, and I'll never forget Don's head jerking back when the dynamic part came in on these records, and it kind of makes me laugh just thinking about it. I'll never forget the image of him startling him, and me and Dave just looked at each other and smiled in approval. Anyways, great sound and demo records. And there'll be more videos to come, and we got many more great records to come, many more great announcements. We're going to try to keep y'all up to date on everything. Thank you all so much for supporting vinyl, supporting my hobby. The more records we sell, the more records we're going to do. The better we do, the more we invest. in making the highest quality records and trying to keep our hobby going and trying to improve the sonic quality and the record pressings and everything to do with the records and get more records out there that everybody wants. So I appreciate the support. It's we thank you so much.